We'll do it live. Okay. I thought my stream was blocked for a minute, but we're not. We are live. We are live. We are live. Okay, now here's the thing. This is so crazy. Now, we are setting up new Rhodesia and we're setting up a government. So here's the important things you have to understand, because usually when people set up these new things, they end up getting ruined. Sorry for my hair. I was running around in the hills. And let me just, before I start the video, if you want to have extremely good health, let me give you some recommendations for just how you can be healthy and feel fantastic. One way is to not drink alcohol or smoke tobacco or use drugs or eat any food that contains poison, and instead eat really healthy food, really good diet with good proteins and fresh vegetables, and just try to avoid, stay away from carbs to some degree. I eat some fruit, but fruit and vegetables and good meat, a lot of red meat, a lot of yogurt, grass-fed meat, grass-fed yogurt, grass-fed cheese, healthy roasted types of. I like pistachios because I think they taste good. But the other thing I do is I run in the hills in the sun, and every once in a while I'll do a short fast. And I'm going to tell you that I noticed that if I drink alcohol and I try and fast, it's it's actually almost impossible. Compared if you just stay away from alcohol and then you do a fast, it's a lot easier. Not that I recommend like a lot of fasting, because it's actually can start to eat away your muscles. But a little bit of fasting is okay. But what's even more important than fasting? A little bit is okay. I just kind of threw that in there. But the main thing I want to tell you, aside from a really good diet, is being in the sun, getting a really good dose of sun every day, getting a really good dose of the sun. The sun is it's almost like a drug in that, but it's not a drug. I don't take drugs. Drugs are garbage. Okay, all these people like promoting drugs all over the internet. These people are destroying our civilization, frankly, and all the alcoholism is too. But you know what's great is the sun produces the vitamin D, whether it's a vitamin or hormone in your body, which is a powerful antioxidant, I believe, as melatonin. Anyway, I don't know all the stuff behind it, but it's really good for you. It makes you feel good. It makes you look good. It makes you feel strong. And just fresh air, sunshine, good diet, lots of good sleep. I sleep really good. And I feel terrific. So, but that's not what the video is about. The video is about New Rhodesia. And so, you know how like normally when people start these types of things where they're going to I'm going to start a group because I don't like the way that things are going, right? So then they start these crazy stuff like, I don't know, you could have these like KKK groups or these neo-Nazi groups. And they're like, okay, guys, we're all going to meet up and we're going to wear masks and we're going to march around and we're going to carry guns and all that stuff. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. In fact, we're doing quite the opposite. If you notice that there's a woman, a beautiful, beautiful woman on the front of my, that I posted on the intro of this video. Her name is Helga Vera John. And I swear to God, that has to be like the most gorgeous woman that, you could ever lay your eyes on. I mean, she is just gorgeous. She looks like what I would imagine Helen of Troy looks like, right? And so this is kind of the thing is like if you're going to have a successful social movement, you have to have women. And so if you notice how you have these groups like Nick Fuentes, I hate women, no women around, get the women out of here, and then all these other things, right? They don't want women around, and they're Catholics. Well, we're not doing that. See, here's the thing. If you want to have a successful social movement, it's not going to be with a bunch of dudes that want to meet up and wear masks and do malicious stuff, okay? That comes later. That comes later. What you need is women. Women who make events for women, not for men. It's not like the women show up to make a social event for the men. The women show up and they make an event for women. And the families and all the men and everybody, right? So everybody's welcome, but it's got to be run by women. Okay, so the whole front of this organization has to do with women who want to put on social events. So we need women, and we're recruiting women who want to just do social events with other women for the society, for New Rhodesia. So you care about New Rhodesia, you want to help New Rhodesia, and you're going to be putting on events. It's going to be fun, right? Here's the idea. Women make things fun. Women like to see, if you get a bunch of guys, right? You're like, okay, let's all meet up in the woods and bring your AR-15. And then, you know what I mean? Well, we can do that stuff. Okay. That we can do all that later. But I'm just saying the women, the core of the social thing has to be women organizing events. Now, I just want to point out one other thing. You look at how beautiful this woman, this lady is. She was Miss Rhodesia, I believe it was 1975, sometime around there. Look how beautiful this woman is, right? That's not what I see when I walk around Southern California anymore. Southern California used to be like that. It's not like that now. It's not like that now. Southern California, like from one end of Southern California, let's say you go from Newport Beach to San Bernardino to Bakersfield to San Diego, you're going to see goblins. You're going to see goblins everywhere. Ugly goblins everywhere. I mean, it's just teeming with goblins. Just teeming with goblins. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and so I've been blaming the Roman Catholic Church, right? Well, look who runs the Roman Catholic Church. It's a bunch of men that want to live together. Do you think that they care that all of Southern California or all of America or all of Europe is going to look, all the women are going to look like goblins? They don't care because they're not interested in women. Okay. The men who run the Roman Catholic Church do not care that the world is going to have a bunch of goblin-looking women in it. And that's why they're flooding the world with goblin women. And I'm sorry, I'm just saying, compared to what Rhodesian women look like, the rest of the world are goblins. Well, not the rest of the world. Depends on where you go. And some of the other, people have beautiful women too. But I'm just saying, where I live, used to be, you think of Huntington Beach, California, Newport Beach, California, Laguna Beach, California. Yeah, there's still some pretty good looking women down there. But that used to be all of California, right? It used to go through LA and that used to be all of California. Now it's just little dying, it's all dying off, right? And instead, the population, the women all look like goblins. Trust me. If you don't live in Southern California, the big attraction's gone. So that's why we're making New Rhodesia. And what I'm trying to say is, in order to have a successful society, you need women who put on events for women. And the Rhodesian women are the most beautiful women in the world. And so we want them putting on events for this with other women for the society as a whole, for the families and the moms and the dads and the kids and everybody, right? I want it to be organized by women. So it's not going to be this thing of like, hey man, grab your we're all going to wear khakis and boots and we're going to march around and Sieg Heil and have swastikas. We're not doing that. That's what the Goyim Defense League is doing. And that's what the American, whatever fascist movement is doing out in Texas. It's just a dead end, man. It's just a dead end. That's what Nick Fuentes is. He's got all his gripers and they're all just going to hold on to their rosary beads and you know what I mean? That's also stupid. Look, you need good-looking women putting on events for the society because guess what? That's what's attractive. That's what's beautiful. That's what not just men want. That's just what everybody wants. See, men and women and children and everybody and old people, they want to be around good-looking young people, the future, right? And so you have to have that, and that's going to be the intro. That's going to be the intro to the new Rhodesian government. We need that. Now, secondarily, I think before we go on, I think we need to sing the Rhodesian national anthem. So let me get the Rhodesian national anthem for us here. Rhodesian national anthem. I love this song, Rhodesian national anthem. See if I can find the version that I like. Hopefully it has lyrics too, so I can read the lyrics. With lyrics. Okay, we have to sing the national anthem here. Oh yeah, let's see. This one. Okay, I think this one has lyrics. Let's see. Let's find the good one. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hopefully there's no commercial ahead of this one. Make sure my volume's on correctly. Hold on. Here we go. So here's our national anthem for. Oh, is my volume too high? Let me turn it down. It could be all crackly. All right, here we go. Here's our national anthem. Let me turn this up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Rise, O voices of Rhodesia, God may we thy bounty share. Give us strength to face all danger, and where challenge is to dare. Guide us, Lord, to wise decision, ever of thy grace aware. Oh, let our hearts beat bravely always, for this land within thy care. Rise, O voices of Rhodesia, bringing her your proud acclaim. Grandly echoing through the mountains, rolling over far-flung plain, roaring in the mighty rivers, joining in one grand refrain, ascending to the sunlit heavens, telling of her honored name. Man, that was good. Maybe you didn't like my singing. Maybe you didn't like my singing, but I liked it. I think we should do that one again. Sorry, we're gonna have to do that again. God may we thy bounty share. Give us strength to face all danger, and where challenge is to dare. Guide us, Lord, to wise decision, ever of thy grace aware. Oh, let our hearts beat bravely always, for this land within thy care. Rise, O voices of Rhodesia, bringing her your proud acclaim. Grandly echoing through the mountains, rolling over far-flung plain, towering in the mighty rivers, joining in one grand refrain, ascending to the sunlit heavens, telling of her honored name. God, that's a good song. That's our national anthem. And anyway, so we are the new Rhodesia. We're the new Rhodesia. And I love that song. What's the other one that's really good? Okay, before we go on to the next song, here's the other thing we're looking for. So we covered number one is women to run the social events. We need that. We need the new Rhodesian woman is the most beautiful women, and of course that's going to attract everybody. It's not that you're there to. Okay, here. Okay, let me restate this. If we do have, so let's say a beauty contest for Rhodesian women, the purpose of the beauty contest isn't just to exploit women like all the other beauty contests that they do. You know why a beauty contest actually matters, or why it's important, and why Helga Vera John being in a beauty contest matters? Ultimately, it's because you have all these young, beautiful women in your society, and you want them to get married, and you want them to have children, right? And so you have a beauty contest for the young ladies, and that way everybody can see who the young, single, beautiful women are, and then they can get married. The idea is to gear it towards marriage, right? So unlike, let's say, some other bullshit beauty contest where it's just about, oh, look how beautiful or sexy the woman is. No, it's about, yes, these women are beautiful, and let's get them married, right? So that they're part of the society. So literally, the objective of having women and creating social events and all that stuff is going to be geared towards producing a civilization. So it's going to be about beautiful women and social events, which make everything better for like having women around making social events for the social order makes everything better for everybody, for families, for the women, for the grandmas and the grandpas and the aunts and uncles. Everybody wants to be part of it, and it's put on. But it's going to be that part of it. That part of the social system is going to be run by the women. Women are going to be in charge of that because they do it. They put on the events because they make it fun, right? It's supposed to be made fun for everybody. So that's what we actually do need that. The next thing is, as far as so that's what women will be doing. As far as what men need to be doing, we need men to be registering their businesses so that we have a network of businesses and that we can get resources of all kinds. I mean, I'm talking everything, whether it's engineering or whether it's electrical or whether it's lumber, whatever, whether it's food supplies, whether it's clothing supplies, any kind of commodities, services, that's all the realm of men, right? The realm of the women is the social events and the fun stuff, and the realm of the men is going to be business and making money and acquiring resources. So we need men who are able to do things, whether it's mechanical or whatever, all the different trades, anybody who's involved in trades of every single kind, people competent men that can do things, right? So on one side you have the women, they're doing the events and all the stuff that's fun, and then on the other side you've got all the men who know how to make things, know how to build things, know how to fix things, right? Know how to organize the resources, trucking, everything, the entire system. We need men who want to be in the new Rhodesian government to help the government, and that's going to be the role of men. So on one side you've got the women, they're going to be putting on the events and all the social stuff and all the fun stuff. On the other side you've got men who are going to be using their skills and resources to help build up the new Rhodesian state. The other thing I think we're going to need is somebody who is proficient in the establishment of a cryptocurrency network, which is not tied to Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, or any other platform or any other thing. The reason being is you can have a communication system of for trade. The thing you have to be careful about with the United States government is they don't want you to set up a currency. They don't want you to set up a currency that competes with the U.S. dollar. Okay, so we're not going to do that because that's the fastest way to end up in prison, right? The fastest way to end up in prison, the fastest way, is to set up a currency that competes with the U.S. dollar. If you do that, basically you just go straight to prison, right? So we're not going to do that because that would be stupid. That would be stupid. Now, the U.S. already produces a currency that you can use that's not the Federal Reserve note, and that legal tender is silver and gold. But of course, you can't always use silver and gold. You can't transfer it over long distances and so forth. And so basically, the new Rhodesian state will have its own system of communication. So it's not that it's going to be a currency. I mean, they call it a cryptocurrency, but what it really is it's a code. And in our case, it'll be a code that it'll be a code that represents our currency that we use for our state, the new Rhodesian state, which is the authorized U.S. mint silver eagle or silver dollar or gold American eagle or gold buffalo. And so that's our currency. We don't have another currency. That's our currency. We use the U.S. currency that's issued by the U.S. Mint according to law. Now, the transfer of that as a contract can be done electronically. And so we will have an electronic method of communicating over distances so that we can transfer a code and for like a demand for payment or an authorization of payment through a cryptographic code. So it's not really a currency, it's a cryptographic code, which represents our native currency, which in which in the United States will be the authorized U.S. mint currency. So, those are the main three things. Number one, women to put on the social events, because the whole front, like I'm telling you, the whole front thing is women. It's not, hey bro, let's meet up and do some stuff with our AR-15s. We'll march around with masks on and we'll have like fascist symbols and we'll walk through the city and tell people to, we'll be like, hey bro, we'll do like Romans. We're not doing that. That's stupid, dude. That's what is it? That American something or another, like the fashion, the American, they all wear the khaki pants. We're not doing that. We're having women. Like, see, our thing is there's the new Rhodesian women. She's beautiful. She's fun. She's putting on an event. You're welcome to come. And see, it's fun to go. And you can bring your wife comes. It's because you're not there just, see, the women don't put it on because they want someone to, like, they're putting it on for the social event, right? So you come with your family, or if you don't have a family, whatever, everyone's welcome to come if you're part of the social system. So anyway, that's the thing. It's not, hey bro, let's join up and march around with torches and fascist symbols and throwing Roman salutes. So it's on the one side, we got the women and the social events. On the other side, we've got men who can do things to contribute to the state, which is the new Rhodesian state. And so that state needs all kinds of skilled workers and labor and food supplies, like everything you can imagine. We're going to we need to establish a method of trade. So we need to have a system of trade, whether it's on the internet or if it's in real life, if there's like a location where we're going to have a trading platform located somewhere where we're going to do trade. Maybe it's like starts out once a week or once a month or whatever, right? And then eventually it'll be, you can always go there and get stuff. And there's going to be supplies of things. There's going to be stores of things that you need. Now, I mean, what do you need? You need food. You need like good meat, grass-fed beef, all the things like vegetables, meats, all that kind of stuff. We'll be able to supply all that. Now, the other thing is, So then there's that, and so there's So I guess the next thing we'll do is I want to do another song. We did Rhizo Voices of Rhodesia. What's the other one that we did last time? Rhodesian song. Notice how good looking that woman is, right? Her name's Helga Vera John, right? Look at how gorgeous that woman is, right? That's what we need to populate the earth with. Not with this. I mean, like, you look at like, now here's what I'm saying. You've got who is it that decided that bringing in goblins from all over the world is just as good as Helga Vera John? Like, whose idea was that? Like, what kind of man would say, well, I think these goblin people from around the world are just as good as Helga Vera John? F you, man. F you. They're not as good. That's what I'm saying, dude. Who would think of that? Guys that live together in Rome and wear dresses. See, they don't care what the people look like because they're not going to be going out and finding women anyway. That's what I'm saying. That's why they've flooded the earth with goblins. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit, right? They're not trying to survive. It's literally I think that's why. Just compare Helga Vera John to all the women you see now today, not in the 70s or the 60s, but today in America. Okay, they look terrible. It looks terrible. It looks disaster. It's a catastrophe. Not to say there aren't still some good women running around. It's just not like it was, dude. Before, in the old days, they were literally gorgeous women everywhere and like all over America. And then the more they implemented this Roman Catholic system, because the men that run the Roman Church don't care what women look like. They don't care. They're not interested in women. They're interested in living with guys and wearing dresses and playing dress up. See, you can't have them in charge of the civilization, or it turns into a giant goblin factory. which is what it is. Trust me. I live in I live in the center of Southern California. There's literally goblins everywhere. It's literally just it's goblin soup. It's goblin soup. It went from wow to goblin soup in just a couple decades, few decades. Anyway, I could go on that point forever because it's just so catastrophic. But that's what happens when men in dresses tell you how to live your life and tell you who gets to come in your country. But anyway, let's go on. Let's I want to do this national anthem again. Rhodesian national anthem. That was my favorite one. If you don't like this one, I'm sorry, but this is what I do now. I just play the national anthem with lyrics because this is the song I like. Very good song. I won't sing too loud because you want to hear the voice of the this one. Voices of Rhodesia, long may we thy bounty share. Give us strength to face all danger, and where challenge is to bear, guide us, Lord, to wise decision, ever of thy grace aware. Oh, let our hearts beat bravely always, for this land within thy care. Rise, O voices of Rhodesia, bringing her your proud acclaim. Bring the echoing through the mountains, rolling over far and day, roaring in the mighty rivers, joining in one grand refrain, ascending to the sunlit heavens, telling of her honored name. Now, if you look at this girl, the picture of that woman, Helga, I'm in love with her. Helga Varajan. That's what I believe Helen of Troy basically looks like. You know that a woman that looks about like that started the First World War in recorded history? Her name was Helen. Well, this lady's name is Helga, and she probably looks just about like Helen. I'm looking at her now. This is just about what Helen looked like, and literally started, and she started the first international war, where this is like where the Greeks literally invaded the Middle East and just started killing everybody in search of Helen. They just invaded the Middle East and they just started killing everyone because they were looking for Helen because she had been abducted. Can you believe that? That's what started the First World War, is a woman that beautiful. Well, of course she's that beautiful. She's Helen. She is Helen of Troy. Of course, this is Helga. The other song that I like is what we should do. Rhodesians Never Die. This is Never Die. Yeah. With lyrics. Helen of Troy started the First World War. She looks about like Helga Varajan. About what she looks like. About what she looked like.
Here's a story of Rhodesia,
A land both fair and great.
on the 11th of November,
An independent state.
this was much against the wishes of certain governments, whose leaders tried to break
Break us down and make us all repent. But we're all Rhodesians and we'll fight through thick and thin. We'll keep our Land, a free land from the enemy coming in. We'll keep them north of the Zambezi till that river's running dry.
And this mighty land will prosper forward, Asians never die.
So anyway, I'm not going to sing too much, but let me tell you this. So I've already told you about the how the women are going to run all the social events, and then the men are going to come in and do all the. We need the guys to come in who can do all the services, resources, skilled labor, all the building, construction, whatever we need, right? And we can start setting up some colonies, and then as we set up the colonies, we're going to use the U.S. Mint as our currency. So we're not going outside of the U.S. law with regard to currency, because that's how you go to prison. We're not going to prison. No, we're just gonna have a fun time. The whole idea is to have a fun time. However, we do need somebody who can establish for the new Rhodesian state and our new Rhodesian colonies. We are going to need somebody who can build out and design a cryptocurrency network for the new Rhodesian colonies, because we're not going to use somebody else's network. We're not going to build it on Solana. We're not going to build it on Ethereum. We're not going to build it on anything else, because it's not going to be part of anything else. It's just going to be a way to transmit a code, which is either an authorization for payment in the U.S. Mint silver or gold. So that's what we need on that. So, the other thing we could do is we will do once the state is up and running, we will do things that are like, for instance, military type of training. But what we will do is we'll actually contract with, particularly in the beginning, because we're not going to set up our own military, but we will train our men and probably the women to some degree, a little bit, in self-defense, combat, maybe some jujitsu training, firearms training. And so what we'll do is we'll just contract with like the regular people. Like, I know there's a guy I know, he runs he's an officer in the U.S. Army, and he has a studio type of place where he trains military and police and so forth in firearms training, right? So stuff like that we can do so that our people can get firearms training from legitimate people that are connected to legitimate organizations. You know, he's a lawyer. He's a JAG officer for the U.S. Army or whatever they call it. JAG, is that right? And he has a firearm. So I know that way we're not like, because people want to do firearms training, especially when you have a group like this. But we don't want to do our own thing too. You want to do too much too fast, because that makes certain people nervous. So what we'll do is we'll just do we'll stick with all the regular. We'll use their stuff. Okay, we'll go with your currency, and we'll go with your this and that, right? But people, I mean, guys want to do firearms training. That's just, we want to do it, and we're our own thing, right? It's going to be because this is our thing. We're setting up the new Rhodesian colonies, so we'll do that, and maybe some other types of hand-to-hand combat training, just like any other state would. So we'll do all the same things that any other normal state would. And so I don't know what else, and probably have like a transportation system. We'll have to set up something like that too. So anyway, yeah, let's listen to the song a little more.
They can send their men to murder.
They can shout their words of hate.
But the cost of keeping this land free can never be too great. 'Cause our men and boys are fighting for the things that they hold dear. And this land, all its people,
Will never disappear. 'Cause we're all Rhodesians, and we'll fight through thick and thin. We'll keep our land a free land from the enemy coming in.
will keep them north of the Zambezi till that river's running dry. And this mighty land will prosper, for Rhodesians never die.
Anyway, you get the picture. You get the picture. So that's it. That is that's what we're looking for. So Thanks for watching.